What's up guys, this is Myth here, back with another 7 night video. So this video is not going to be a gameplay video. Instead it's going to be a very short but detailed guide towards every single aspect of this game. So it's to help newish player to mid-game player maximize their resources and progress throughout the game more efficiently. So I mean, 7 Nights is a very new game, so there's not really much content to it, and I believe as long as players can learn from their mistakes and listen to other players with more experiences, it's very easy to accelerate past the new and mid-game stages and towards the late stage of the game, so you can enjoy all the contents the game can provide. So firstly, I don't want to go through the guide quest and all the events the game provides because that's just really basic. So make sure you complete the guide quest as soon as you can and always participate in different kind of events because the rewards are very good. Secondly, I just want to share a little trick, but I really don't recommend doing this. The trick is for checking. If you don't go into the game for 15 days straight, and the next day after 15 days you log into the game, you will be able to get a 5-star 7-night selector on the 7th day, plus the game will give you a few 4-star hero selectors as well, and the first 28-day rewards will change and just in general becomes better and easier for you to progress. I mean, if you're really new to the game, you can try to do that, but if you already established kind of foundation to the game, I think it's better to just play and log in every day, and I think that's the fastest way for you to progress instead becoming active for 15 days. Secondly, coupons. So for iPhone users, I don't think you have this option, but if you use Android or you have BlueStacks on your computer, you can go into coupons right here and select, I think is the first option, so 7 Nights coupon event, and you can enter 2 coupons, which gives you one gives you 50 rubies and the other gives you, I think, 50k gold. It's not much, but it helps if you're new to the game and you're free to play. So I'm going to put the 2 coupons in the description below, so make sure to check it out. And now I want to start talking about what to focus when you start playing this game. In my opinion, adventure mode is the first priority for you. So as you can see, there's easy, normal and hard stages. What you want to do is quickly progress through all 7 worlds here. So finish the hard stages for world 7 and go into world 8 and try your best, maybe with the help of your friends' representative monsters, to quickly finish world 8 as well. It's not that hard. Now there are so many OP heroes being released, so once you finish world 8 and come into world 9, you can take a little break because world 9 will start dropping jewels if you're lucky, especially map 9-1. It's a very easy map, much easier than I think most of the stages in world 8. So in my opinion, what you should do is save up every day the honor points and the keys you get from checking, guild checking and personal checking, and just before you go to sleep, go to world 9 and try to do as much runs as you can on auto repeat mode, and just wake up, and I'm sure sometimes you'll be surprised with even a 6-star jewel drop if you're lucky. And I think jewels are very important for you to progress throughout the game faster. So make sure to quickly finish all the World 1 to World 8 as fast as you can, and just spam World 9 with all your keys and all the points from daily check-ins. And also ruby farming is very important. So the best map I suggest is 7-9 for ruby farming, because all the monsters here, both of these skills, Sarah especially, are not attacking skills. So it's very easy for you to auto repeat this stage. I'll give you guys an example. So put on auto repeat. So if you guys don't know how to use auto repeat feature, just ask me in the comment section, I'll answer it for you. But basically, you want to pretty much balance out the time you farm rubies and the time you farm World 9. So every day you get some rubies and some jewels. I think that's the best way for you to progress. And one of the first priorities you want to do is to make a farming team. So it involves 2 AoE attackers. In my case, it's Jave and Ace, but there are many different combinations. For backline, you can use either physical and magical, so Jave, you can use Ray, you can use Ruri as your physical backline dealers. Basically anyone with 2 AoE attacks. And frontline, you can do the same thing with someone with 2 AoE attacks, or just an offensive support unit such as Ace or Eileen. So yeah, so make sure balance out the time you farm rubies and farming jewels. So that's that. And so you have rubies and also topaz. Topaz for new players is very hard to obtain, so I suggest to save as much topaz as you can. And if you go to the Topez shop, I don't recommend to purchase the 7-night with 500 topaz if you're free to play or close to free to play. Instead, I recommend to always try to buy the Transcender Fina. And also sometimes the Topaz shop goes to sale, and I think Transcender Fina, the discount price is down to 110 topaz each, so it's very good value, and I think it's a much better option to buy 7-nights. Also masteries. So a lot of people think, or a lot of people advise new players to not summon and try and maximize your mastery from level 1 to 75 as soon as possible. It's kind of true, but in my opinion, if you are very new, say you are around between level 1 to level 20-ish, it's best to do some summons so you can build a foundation. And after you have that foundation, just try get new monsters from fuses mostly, so you can get a lot of fodder mobs from ruby farming, of course. So with those fodders, you can try fuse for new heroes, and you can start saving rubies to max your mastery from level 10 to level 75. It actually helps a lot because, say example, the level 75 mastery increase all damage by 20%. It's just so important. So, but do some summons, build a foundation, and then look to maximize your masteries. So that's my advice for that. And next I want to talk about 7-nights. Which 7-nights you should pick if you're just starting out the game. So the Rudy, Elaine, Rachel, Dylan's, Jave, Spike, and Chris. in my opinion, if you are new to the game, Eileen is your top priority pick. The reason is you want to be PvE focused before you can do arena and PvP. And PvE, as I mentioned in my previous video, the best damage dealer in PvE contents right now is just 2 heroes. So you have Shane. Let me just see, where is my Shane? Right here. So she is one of the 2 best physical damage dealer for PvE contents. And you have Jupy, so she's the other one. And both of their attacks are physical attacks. And in the whole game, Eileen is the only hero that, sorry, not this one. Eileen is the only hero that can boost your physical damage of all allies by 60%. So she as an offensive support is so important, both in Castle Rush and Raid, and also in Ruby farming and adventure, because say you use a physical damage dealer as your backline in Ruby farming, say example Jave, you can just replace my Ace here with an Eileen. Where is my Eileen? Right here. Okay, so replace Ace with the Eileen, and basically it's the same thing. Set her first skill as your skill queue for the first round and just go auto repeat. It's pretty much the same result. I mean, if you can't do 7-9 because the mobs here are very tanky, you can do anything. I mean, in my opinion, you can try out not even hard stages but normal stages first. So maybe go normal 7-9 or go normal 7-10, and if you find yourself be able to do them quite easily, maybe try hard 1-5, 1-10, and just go 2-5, 2-10, 3-5, 3-10. Wow, and someone just got Jave through fusion. And a Lubu too. Well, lucky. Well, anyways, so in my opinion, Eileen is top priority if you just started out 7 Knights. And if you already have an Eileen, I don't think you need to rush to transcend her. She works pretty well at level 30. And in my opinion, the next 7 Knight you should pick, well, you can pick Dylan's. In my opinion, he is the strongest PvP 7 Knight right now in the current meta, and in Korean server he is also the first one to get Awakening, so he's very solid pick as your second 7 Knight. Apart from that, I think Rudy here, Chris, and Spike. These 3, I think, if you're not a PvP person, if you don't want to pick Dylan's, I think you can pick one of these 3. And also that's presuming you already have a backline farmer. If you don't have one, pick Jave. Definitely go with Jave if you don't have a backline farmer. But I mean, there's so many backline farmers in the game right now. Literally anyone with 2 AoE attacks. So you have example Valika, you have Nia, you have Ming, you have Ray, you have Lubu, you have Jave. Just anyone with 2 AoE. So, but if you don't have any of the hero, or if you don't want to work to transcend any of those heroes, just pick up a Jave. He is very strong right now. He kind of fall off a bit in arena because the damage is just too big, and even though he's tanky, he still gets one shot in most high level arena right now. But in the future, his skill is going to get multi hits, and I think Turtle team is going to get revived, so he is a very solid pick. So basically, Eileen is your first priority. and Jave is your second priority. And if you like PvP, go for Dylan's. If not, pick one of Rudy, Chris, or Spike. Chris is very good because he, in my opinion, he's not a damage dealer right now, but he absorbs a lot of damage because he has a zombie revive 3 turns, and also he is a healer that doesn't need to waste a turn to use heal skill, because for his passive, every enemy unit you kill, all your allies recover HP by 30%. So he is a very solid pick in my opinion if you're starting out, and he is also very strong in Platinum, Diamond, Arena, because I actually have an alt account that's around that level, and Chris and Bylong, these zombie units are very strong in that arena. And with Spike, it's also because of his passive that protects all allies from debuff for 2 turns, so you can bring him to a lot of adventure stages and also even Castle Rush stages. So he's very universal, that's why I suggest pick him. Also, he works really well just being at level 30, so you don't have to transcend him. So he's a very efficient unit in my opinion. Apart from Spike, of course, Rudy, he used to be the king of Arena, and I actually have a level 40 copy of him. He was so strong, but now because turtle meta has passed, so he's not really using Arena, but his passive, which increases all ally defense by 60%, is still very strong in PvE contents, especially adventure modes and Celestial Tower. And also Chris is one of the most used units in Celestial Tower. So yeah, that's in my opinion all 7 knights and their users. And my last pick is Rachel, because even though she is very good in Celestial Tower, you can't really use her in raid because her passive is her main skill, which decreases enemy damage defense by 80%, doesn't work against raid boss because raid boss can be debuffed. So she's pretty much right now is just a Castle Rush hero, and you can use her in Arena, but there's better units. So, and also with Castle Rush, if you watch my video, I'll put a link in the description. I recommend actually always pick Friends Rachel. That's the most efficient way. I will actually go through Castle Rush later in this video as well. But there you go. So to recap, Eileen number 1, Jave second priority if you don't have a farmer. If you do have a farmer, for PvP pick Dylan's, or for PvE go with Chris, Spike, or Rudy, and Rachel should be your last worry. So that's in my opinion the 7 knights priorities. So now after this, I want to talk about the 5 types of elements in this game. So there's fire element, there's dark element, there's earth element, there's magic element, and there's light element. Because you're starting out, a lot of people don't have much resources unless you pay to play. So I would recommend to focus on one hero for each element, because in my opinion transcending them to a higher level is a lot more efficient than just pick hero here and there and keep most of them at level 30. They're not going to help you much throughout the game. So in my opinion, with fire element, the most important is Shane and Jupy. Where's Jupy? Here. So as I have mentioned, they are the best PvE hero right now in the game as backline damage dealer. So try to transcend them to level 32 straight away as soon as you can, because then you can start equipping jewels on them, and they really make a difference to your Castle Rush and raid score. And if you already have a transcended Jupy and Shang and you feel it's a bit boring just to focus on PvE, my next recommendation for fire element is Black Rose, and she is currently really top tier arena units, and I don't think she's gonna fall off in a short future. So if you already have a transcended Shane and Jupy, you can start picking Black Rose for your fire elements. So next I want to talk about earth elements. In my opinion, there are a lot of earth elements heroes in this game. Of course you have the main character, which is Evan here. He is going to be the first hero that gets transcended, or I mean him and Karen, they are the first ones, and his transcending form is very strong, but right now he is not very good if you already have Rudy, and as I explained, turtle meta is not the current meta right now, so I don't recommend picking him. And Rook, of course, his awakening form is very strong, but I don't think it's going to come for a while, so I don't recommend picking Rook as well. In my opinion right now, the only two earth element hero worth picking is Guan Yu and Legion. Guan Yu, he is very good. If we go to his codex, both of them are world 9 heroes. So if you look at Guan Yu, he's got a very strong single target burst move, which guarantee crit, so you don't have to build crit on him, and he's got an AoE voice shield for 1 hit for your whole team, plus passive decrease our enemy's physical magic attack by 40%. So he's a very solid pick before in the turtle meta arena, and he is also very solid for adventure mode. And the next hero I want to mention is Legion, who just came out right here. So he is very underrated in my opinion. A lot of people say he's only useful for Rudy Day Castle Rush. Well, he is very good for that, but also because his decreased enemy damage passive, he's very good in all PvE contents in my opinion. And if you equip him with very good speed attack and speed attack weapon and a counter armor, his passive with a normal attack, which applies to counter and speed attack, decrease all your allies cooldown by 10 seconds. It's very good skill in raid actually. If you don't use him in your main raid team, I think it's very good to use him in your second raid team. I have a very detailed raid guide which I released last week, so I'll put that in description as well. But I forgot to mention about Legion. So he is a very solid pick for your second rate team. So that's earth element. And the next one I want to talk about is magic element. So right now, magic element are mostly AoE damage unit. So a lot of ruby farmers such as Belika or Ariel, but I really don't recommend picking them because right now, in my opinion, or even Ming Ming, he is very good, but in my opinion right now, Yuxing, he is just so strong and so versatile. He can be used anywhere. If you bring him even to hard daily mode, if you struggle to pass hard daily mode, even though they reduce the difficulties, Yuxing will make such a difference. So with magic selector, you want to work on Yuxing as soon as you can. And with light selector, which is a green one, in my opinion, there's only one hero out of all the light element hero that is worth picking right now, and that is Lina. Lina is just so strong. If you look at her codex, she is, you can actually farm her in world 8, but so she right here, she's got AoE heal, of course, which most light element hero do, plus her buff is increase our allies damage by 50% for 2 turns. It's such a good combo, a damage buff and a heal, plus the passive decrease enemy physical attack / defense by 25%. So in my opinion, she is the only light element hero that's worth transcending right now. you might argue Alice was very good before, but that's before Ace got revamped, because Alice, if I can find her, that is right here, because she's got an AoE heal as well, and her heal also removes all Alice debuff, which is really good. And she's got a zombie revive for single ally for 2 turns, and passive not only increase her max HP by 1000, but also increase damage inflicted on all enemies by 40%. But right now, after Ace got revamped, she is kind of fall out of meta, because Ace got the later part of her passive as well, so most people just bring Ace as the offensive support unit. So yeah, so right now I think, in my opinion, Lina is the only light element that's worth transcending. That's of course for you to maximize your resource. You can pick Alice, but I just don't think it's efficient. And with dark element, in my opinion, if you don't have a Sig, you really should pick one, because he is very good on Rudy Castle Day again. Plus, he should be the core member of your first raid team. But in my opinion, you don't need to keep transcending him. And also, Dark Element is very rare and very needed, because if you go to Codex and look at the 7 Knights, they are all Dark Elements, apart from, of course, Rudy and Dylan's, and the 4 Lords. All of them are Dark Elements, so try to save your Dark Elements for your 7 Knights and 4 Lords. So, and also for you to progress really fast and efficient through the game, you should focus on 3 core units. That's your core combo for both Castle Rush and Raid, and these 3 units is Eileen for his passive support, and of course Shane and Jupy. So Jupy and Shane, which is here. So one of Shane or Jupy, and the third is of course gonna be Lina. So if you just work on these 3 core member of your team, I think it's very efficient, and you can progress through the PvE contents much faster. So that's that. And the next I want to talk about, because if you go to Battle and Adventure, which is pretty much all the contents there is for 7 Knight, Arena, really you don't have to worry about it if you are still at early to mid game, because the rewards are not great. Castle Rush, okay, I'm going to talk about Castle Rush. So with Castle Rush, it's very important. A lot of people don't think it's important, but if you go to your guild and look at guild skills, all these guild skills here can help every single member of your guildie to progress a lot faster throughout the game. You have acquired hero experience, gold, hero drop rate, item drop rate, and also the buildings in Guild Castle. They all need Castle Rush points to level them up. So Castle Rush is very important to the guild, and so make sure always do them. And of course, with Castle Rush, you can get 7 Knight out of a chest, always 1000 points. So with Castle Rush, there's 7 days. So I'll go through all 7 days. Basically, firstly, it's not in particular order, but for Spike Day, actually it's easier if I use the selector. For Spike Day, you want to pick Arania for her passive, that's anti-freeze against Spike. For Dylan's Day, you want to pick a Yui for her passive, that's anti-silence. For Chris Day, you want to pick either Karen or Leo, and they have to be 6-star. So it's for their passive of anti-death debuff. For Rachel Day, you want to get a Zhuge. His passive is your whole team immune to buff reduce, like Rachel's 80% debuff. So apart from Zhuge Liang, Eileen Day, you want to pick up a Victoria. Where is Victoria? Can't find it. Right here. So her passive is anti-electrify, which is Elaine's CC. And for Rudy Day, you actually need 2 sets of heroes, which is for the anti-stun, you need Karen and Sieg, either one of them. And for take out Rudy's shield, you need anyone with buff reduce. So you can have, say, Yuri, you can have Ariel, you can have Ruri, you can have, of course, Ace, Lubu, Black Rose, and the best choice is Legion. So, and also lastly, with Jave Day, it's actually the easiest. So basically you just want to stack some attack passive or just stack some defense passive and you'll be good for Jave Day. So with all these units, you don't have to pick them from the selectors for Celestial Day, for Castle Rush Day. Most of these units can work even if they are 4-star or 5-star. Basically, you just try to fuse them if you can, or just try pull them from rubies. Don't actually rank them up with your very precious elements. So just try to fuse or pull these Castle Rush units. So they are the most efficient way for Castle Rush. And I have a video, I'll also share the link in description. That's my in detail guide for Castle Rush. So that's that. What else do you have? Guild War, which is basically like same as Arena lineup, so I'm not gonna go through over that. And World Boss, which is not here yet. When World Boss comes here, Rachel will become very important, but right now she is not focused for newer to mid-level player. So now you go to Adventure. We already covered the Adventure mode, which you can farm jewels in map 9 and rubies. So it's your main focus for starting out. Celestial Tower, they are 120 levels. I'm on 120, but I don't want to finish it because I'm waiting for better heroes to come into the selector. This tower is not going to reset, so just take your time. You don't have to worry about it. Before level floor 90, it's very easy, and it gets a bit hard after floor 90, but just take your time. And every 10 times you enter and fail on the same level, the difficulty reduces by a lot. So just be patient, and I'm sure you get to floor 120 quite fast. So that's Castle Rush, that's Celestial Tower. Special dungeons, so you have Power Up Dungeon, which gives you a 4-star or 5-star rice cake, which is just for power up. I suggest everyone to do it every day. Before they used to give you 6-star, but I think it's just too easy, so they stopped doing that. But just make sure still enter Power Up Dungeon every day. And with Daily Dungeon, do it every day as well. Hard mode, which is very easy now in my opinion. Most people, if you have decent not transcendent units or immunity units, you can pretty much easily finish all days, all the hard dailies apart from Saturday because it requires some multi hits, but it's just gold, so you don't have to worry about that. So always do your daily dungeons. And I think in the future, I mean, there are a lot of videos on it already, but if people request, I can make a video specific on hard dungeon in the future. So that's special dungeons. And raid, basically you can see my lineup here. I'm not going to talk about it in this video because I actually just made a detailed raid guide, and I will post that link in the description, so you can have a look. Basically for team 2, I'm using pretty much the same setup. Team 1 and team 2, you have your backline damage and anti-stun, you have magic damage reduce in Velika and Sparta, you have damage buff in Dylan's and Lina, and you have extra damage buff in Eileen for team 1, and team 2 I think the best unit for the 5th spot is Legion. So yeah, so just work towards team like this, and have a look at my raid guide. So apart from that, that's pretty much all there is to this game. So once you can efficiently do raids, maybe you can clear some level 20, even level 30 raids yourself to get some raid items. As you can see, it's really not that hard. I have a lot of raid items, and I'm sure you guys just auto some raids while you watch movie or do your homework, and it's very easy. So this game, there's not really much to it, and I don't even know how long I've been talking, but I think this video is already pretty long, and I think I covered pretty much all aspects of the game. So I hope you guys find this video useful, and I'm really sorry about all this ranting, but yeah, I hope you guys find this video useful, and just letting you know, I'm very close to 300 subscribers. So again, thank you all for your support, and please like and share the video if you find it useful, and hopefully I'll see all of you guys again in my next video.